Hey there, ready to dive into something really relevant today? We're tackling deepfakes, specifically how they're rocking the world of politics. You've sent over some seriously thought-provoking excerpts on this, and we're about to unpack the implications.
What's fascinating about this topic is that it touches on so many levels: technology, human psychology, the very nature of truth and trust. It's not just a tech issue, it's changing how we perceive the world.
Okay, so imagine this. A video pops up online of a politician saying or doing something outrageous. It goes viral instantly. But here's the kicker. It's completely fake.
And increasingly, these fakes, or deep fakes as they're called, are nearly impossible to distinguish from reality. This is where it gets really interesting, because it undermines the very foundation of trust in what we see and hear.
So how does this even work? Is this some super secret, complex tech?
The source material explains that it's actually rooted in AI and machine learning. Basically, these systems analyze tons of data, videos, audio to learn how someone moves, talks, even their microexpressions. Then it can generate new content mimicking that person flawlessly.
So you're saying with enough data, these algorithms can create a video of anyone saying or doing practically anything.
Precisely. And as the technology advances, the fakes are getting increasingly sophisticated and harder to spot. Some of them are so convincing that even trained experts have difficulty discerning real from fake.
Okay, so we've got increasingly convincing fake videos circulating in a world where people are quick to believe what they see online, especially if it confirms their existing biases.
And that's where the backfire effect comes into play. Research suggests that when people are presented with information that contradicts their deeply held beliefs, they may actually double down on their existing views, even if those views are demonstrably false.
So you're saying if someone sees a deep fake that aligns with their existing beliefs, they might actually become even more entrenched in those beliefs, even if it's like totally made up.
Sadly, yes. It's like our brains don't always follow logic, right? Emotions play a huge role in how we process information. And the deepfakes, they really tap into that emotional core. It makes them very effective tools for, well, persuasion and manipulation.
Which brings us to the really scary part, how deepfakes are being weaponized in politics. I mean, we've already seen how misinformation can spread online like wildfire, right? Influencing what people think, even swaying elections. Deepfakes just take it to a whole other level.
Absolutely. Imagine this. A convincing deepfake surfaces right before an election, right? Shows a candidate saying something discriminatory, maybe engaging in illegal activities. Even if it's debunked later, the damage might be done.
Because that seed of doubt is planted.
Exactly. And it's incredibly hard to shake those initial perceptions.
It's like that old saying, a lie can travel halfway around the world while the truth is still putting on its shoes.
Yeah.
But with deepfakes, it's more like the lie is in a supersonic jet, wearing a hyper-realistic mask.
Exactly. And we can't underestimate the impact on voter turnout either. One of the articles you shared, it highlighted a study, showed that exposure to political misinformation, even if people don't buy it completely, it can still lead to cynicism, apathy, and ultimately voter suppression.
So it's not just about changing votes directly, it's about sowing chaos in general, undermining trust in the whole system.
That's the scariest part. When people lose faith in institutions, in the very idea of truth, it creates a void. And that's easily exploited by those who want to create discord, undermine democratic values.
So we're facing like a perfect storm here. Crazy fast advancing technology, super polarized political landscape, anti-human psychology that makes us fall for this stuff. It's kind of overwhelming, honestly. What can we even do about it? Any solutions out there?
It's a huge challenge for sure, but it's not impossible. There are promising developments both in technology and just how we address this as a society.
Let's start with the tech side. I'm guessing researchers are hard at work trying to figure out how to detect these deep fakes.
Oh, absolutely. And some of the advancements are really cool. There are algorithms being developed that can analyze videos for tiny inconsistencies like unnatural blinking, weird lighting, even how sound waves reflect off someone's face.
So it's like a digital fingerprint that gives away the fake.
Exactly. And these detection tools, they're constantly evolving as deepfake tech gets more sophisticated. It's a bit of an arms race, you could say.
Which has its own problems, of course. I mean, this detection technology is probably going to be expensive, hard to get a hold of, at least at first. What about regular people? How do we protect ourselves from falling for this stuff?
That's where media literacy is key. We've got to become more critical consumers of information, especially online.
It's kind of like we all need to level up our BS detectors, right?
Yeah, exactly. We can't just take things at face value anymore, even if it seems like it's from a source we trust.
And what about those social media companies? They're often at the heart of this whole misinformation thing, right? Deepfakes, too, I bet.
Oh, absolutely. They have a huge responsibility here. And to be fair, many of them are starting to do something about it. More fact-checking going on, partnering up with those independent verification organizations, even using algorithms to try to catch that iffy content.
But isn't that a bit like trying to swat flies? As soon as they come up with something new, the deepfake folks are going to find a way around it.
It's a tough battle, that's for sure. But it's one we can't afford to lose, right? The stakes are just too high.
It really drives home the point that we can't just sit back and passively watch whatever pops up on our screens. We've got to be informed, think for ourselves.
Exactly. And that's where education comes in, right? Giving people, even kids, the tools to navigate this crazy information world. Teaching them how to evaluate sources, spot bias, think critically about what they're seeing, both on and offline.
Like we're all becoming detectives in a way. Got to learn to spot those clues, the little details that give away a fake.
I like that. Being more vigilant, more skeptical, questioning what we see and hear, even if we think it's from a reliable source.
It's almost like deepfakes are making us rethink our whole relationship with truth. Like, what even is real anymore?
That's a really interesting point. Like, when seeing isn't believing anymore, we have to find new ways to figure out what's true. It's a real shift in how we think, moving away from just accepting things to actually questioning and engaging with information.
This has been, honestly, a bit of a wild ride. Eye-opening for sure, and a little unnerving at times. But thanks for guiding us through all this and showing us that there are some things we can do.
It's been my pleasure. I think the big takeaway is that, yeah, deepfakes are a serious problem, but we're not powerless. Raising awareness, promoting media literacy, that tech stuff we talked about, and just encouraging everyone to think critically. Those are all ways to fight back, to make sure the truth doesn't disappear.
Couldn't agree more. So, to our listeners out there, next time you see some crazy video or hear a wild claim, just take a second. Hit that pause button, ask some questions, do a little digging. A healthy dose of skepticism. That might be your best weapon against the deepfake army. Until next time, stay curious, stay critical, and thanks for joining us for this deep dive.